Welcome, everyone, to a very merry episode of the Delco Nerd Network Rewind Reviews, where we sit down to discuss some of our favorite film franchises of the past and even some TV movies of the past. This time around, we are discussing three pretty great, I think, Christmas movies: The Santa Claus, The Polar Express, and The Year Without a Santa Claus. I got it this time. Joining me, as always, is Mr. Anthony the Gooch Ragucci. I was going to say the Scrooge, but that's mean. I don't know. Yeah.
I'm not in this situation. I'd be the Scrooge. So
I'm not that negative.
No.
I was going to be like, my weenie whistle. My weenie whistle.
The weenie whistle. And, of course, the creator of the fabled table, Miss Emma McKelvey. Thank you so much for coming back. It's been a little bit. Last time you came back on.
A wee bit.
But
Thank you for having me.
Not really that long.
It's true. I guess it really. When was it?
August, right?
August.
Yeah.
August might as well be last year.
I know.
Like we were just saying. Like
it simultaneously feels like a long time, but also it feels like it was
short time.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's weird, but
time.
Anyways, let's get to it. Our first film of this series is going to be The Santa Claus, released November 11th, 1994, with a rating of PG. A production budget of $22 million, an opening weekend of $19.3 million, not too shabby, and a worldwide box office of $190 million so far. So yeah, movies were made on the cheap back then.
But like it's total grossing. It's pretty fucking good, man.
Yeah, no, especially for the time. And I mean, if you do like the product or like the marketing stuff, that usually doubles it. So they probably really put like $44 million into it.
Those numbers are just crazy.
I know.
I know that's really small now compared to all the...
Well,
and that's
wild,
94 numbers.
Yeah.
So like think about it like literally like
so that's
19 years later.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
much
the
different.
inflation fun
exactly.
stuff. Yeah.
And the reason I'm laughing is because PG for this movie is pretty laughable, I think.
Is it really? Why?
I feel like there's a lot of like
Innuendo for sure.
Undertone for Disney.
I forgot that it was Disney.
I forgot it was Disney
I
too.
don't think I like if you would have been like, Gooch, is the Santa Claus a Disney movie? I probably would have had to think about it for a second.
I would have said absolutely not. I would have been like, no, it's not.
I thought, we'll get to it, but the Polar Express was a Disney movie, and it is not.
Produced it?
I think it's not Warner Brothers. It might have been Paramount. When I was looking it up, I saw, but I'm not remembering off the top of my head.
Yeah.
We'll get to it in due course,
we'll
Gooch.
Hold your horses.
Hold your horses.
Hold my train.
I was just trying to say that.
Hold my sleigh.
Hold my sleigh. Directed by John Pasquin and written by Leo Benvenuti and Steve Rudnick. And I get all our descriptions from IMDb. Okay. We rate them as to how helpful they are. No real scale. It's just how you feel.
In that very moment.
Well, yeah. When a man inadvertently makes Santa fall off his roof on Christmas Eve, he finds himself magically recruited to take his place.
Okay, that's good.
I would say tricked, but sure. Yeah, I agree with that most of.
Yeah, he's not recruited.
I would say tricked as well.
I would say there's a lot. We'll get into it, but I don't think this will be a legally binding contract. Anywho.
You have to read the clause.
Yeah, the clause, the Santa Claus, thank you. But yeah, let's get into it. Gooch, let's start with you. What did you think about the Santa Claus? Did you love it? Did you hate it?
I kind of found it a little middling, to be
really?
quite honest. Yeah. So this was
as the kids say.
This was your pick.
Yeah.
This was your fave.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
And you know what? It's like a third of a Christmas movie, which I found really odd.
What do you mean?
The middle is not Christmassy. It stops being a Christmas movie.
Sure, because you get past Christmas.
Like this movie takes place over a year.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then what's funny is like once we pass the first Christmas, when he becomes Santa Claus, we get past that.
Sure.
Time just like is irrelevant. Things just like a year passes, and it's like when is this happening?
We're showing his transformation
that
to
is
Santa.
But yes, you get to see, because at one point when he starts transforming, he goes from quickly, like, it's a week where he gains like 60 pounds.
Right.
Well, that's
like, are we like 7 months later?
Yeah.
Like,
I will give it to you. Yeah, they don't illustrate like time passing very well, beside from him like getting fat.
Because I'm an
then,
adult
like,
now.
Unless it's like a month later.
Analyze this film as an adult, not as a kid, and I'm just like, what?
He starts getting very lightly heavy. Yeah.
That's what I tried to like not actually like judge the film like.
Yeah,
in
it kind of destroys.
I almost have fun
like,
doing that sometimes though.
Yeah, I do.
Because I'm like, this man was cursed.
Oh yeah, a love life.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, this man was cursed. Gooch, what else were you saying?
Right.
I mean that's really it. I mean, I like it, but like, is it a good movie? Yeah, it's all right. It's fine.
Sure.
I don't really remember the sequel or the third one. that well?
I don't either.
Like,
I remember them vividly.
I remember Beans. Remember Beans from Even
Yes,
Stevens?
yeah, he's in the second one.
I had to
Yeah,
like
yeah.
start the second one right after to be like, I know that I remember something. with
Yeah,
Beans.
it goes through like 3 of them, and then there's the Santa Clauses now. The second
There's
one,
a fucking Disney Plus
which has
show.
2 seasons.
there?
By the
Yeah.
way, it has 2
I was
seasons.
like, this is wild.
right.
Like what?
It's apparently popular enough.
That's crazy.
Do you want a rundown of the next 2? It's
I
very
mean,
easy.
you wanna
the
say-
second? I mean, the second one is
The floor
the
is yours.
Mrs. Claus, of course,
Oh my god.
and then the third one is the Escape Clause, I think.
The Mrs. Claus is the principal.
Right.
Ends up, okay.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
and the third one is Jack Frost. is in
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Right.
See, you
okay.
guys remember.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
don't
You
sell
just
yourself
gotta
short.
So
jog.
the only other thing that really stood out to me is also the divorced dad theme. Of
Yes,
course, we
yes.
have to fucking talk about it. Which was like, as somebody with divorced parents, and my parents weren't divorced that young, and I never did any of this. I was like, this is kind of triggering. Like, I'm not gonna lie. They're like, his dad like doesn't know. Like they're having Christmas dinner alone.
At
They end up
Denny's.
going to Denny's.
They're at sad dad
I'm like,
Denny's.
this is
Yeah.
sad.
It's
like,
so.
See, you go.
No, that's why it's so funny to me though. I don't know why
it is
That's
goofy.
Well, that's why, like, in the 90s, you're like, that's what I just kept thinking back to, like, okay, like, it's hitting all of, like, those tropes that were
Classic.
perfect for
Right.
the 90s. And
Yeah,
I
there
was
were a ton of
watching
movies
it
like
with
that.
Jack, and I kept looking over because it was just Jack and his dad. So I'm, like, looking over at him the whole time. But
That fucking Denny's.
it is funny, that divorced dad.
it's in so many. It's in
And
like
he's a shithead too.
He's a
like,
shithead.
Like he's not even like he's trying to do good, but like
Bare minimum.
Yeah, they give that like he's at the company. Another funny thing, company party. Like I never got to experience this debaucherous company party like this, and they're in the whole building.
Yeah.
I was like, this is crazy. And he's like, oh yeah, there's so and so sleeping with his secretary. This is a Disney movie, folks.
like-
Disney.
It is wild what gets by. I do think they do a good job of like illustrating him as an absolute piece of shit. But then
Yeah,
it's
for
like
sure.
he again this whole thing like fundamentally changes his personality. Like it's a curse, right? Like the entire like he's a terrible person who doesn't like Christmas. Or actually, that's not true. He likes Christmas.
Yeah, he's
he wants
advocating for believing in Santa
he
Claus.
wants his son to believe. But like he seems like a dude who's just all work, all business, and then it just turns him into this fat man who loves jolly things.
Yeah. I will say this might be a hot take, but I cannot stand the mom, Laura, I think I can't remember. And I cannot stand the stepdad. I can't think of his name.
I love.
I can't
also
remember his
love
name either.
Wait, I literally wrote down. I forgot. I
They're
did take notes.
constantly
also.
attacking like shrinks, like
Oh,
constantly.
I
yes,
know.
because of that.
And they're
but-
using the term shrink, which
Yeah.
is definitely not a
I wrote
phrase
down.
anymore that
No.
people use.
No,
No.
but Neil.
Neil.
Oh, fuck you, Neil.
What I like.
My mom
Such a
told me
big-
not to curse on this.
He seems like a pretty all right, amenable dude, but then he starts getting worse as the movie goes
Yeah.
on. I will give them credit though. It does seem like Scott is emotionally and mentally manipulating their child to believe that Santa is
Yeah,
indeed
Right.
real.
because they're like, whoa.
And when they go to the court to get the fucking to get his
right.
privileges
And he
taken
shows
away.
up like
I was
fucking
like,
just
this
like
is like
Sue Animals.
traumatizing.
The guy's like, the judge is like, yeah, Scott, I have to do something here. Sorry, guy. Like
Yeah.
you're dressed like Santa. You have the whole.
Yes, yeah. And you're right.
But don't get me wrong.
you're right.
You are correct.
Like, I just
He's
can't-
terrible.
And they don't get, I don't know. They're very, even before he starts turning into Santa Claus, they're just so aggressive towards Scott. And I'm like, bro, he's the single dad in this situation. Yes, I know that he's a piece of shit and stuff like that.
I mean, he's got a pretty
But
nice
also-
house.
He does.
Yeah,
He is-
and
it doesn't seem like
The
he's
kid,
not-
the kid's like, don't make me stay here, mom.
That's what I'm saying. It's I'm like, this is hard. Like, I'm like,
But I loved when he's reading the book, and there's just like so many little tiny things, and he's reading the book, and he's like, blah, 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 and then like the end, and
It's so
just like stuff like that, like your classic dad. Thing.
just trying to be a
Like,
good,
yeah.
like doing his best. And even
Yeah.
like he's like reluctantly he's trying to get out of the room, and he comes back. The kid's very good.
Yes. Dude, literally first thing I wrote down. I don't know why I took notes.
No,
but I
do
just
it.
like-
Are you kidding me?
But
That's
I like
amazing.
to doodle. So
yeah. I was like, I like your notes.
all over it. But I was like, is this the best child actor?
It's one of the best.
Yeah,
I
I think
especially
the performances are good, like for sure.
And I think
I think he does. I think you're right. And even
Really?
like at the end when he's like saying goodbye, he's like, "Don't go, Dad." I'm like, "Oh fuck, he's good."
Dude,
Like,
end of the movie. Why
Yeah.
am I crying?
it's-
I literally.
Really?
Why am I crying?
I thought he was very good. I thought he was fantastic. But again,
When we
like
get to
there are
Polar
these little.
Express, the crying part is going to be very
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, you'll see a different person when we get to Polar Express.
I'm gonna go off on it anyway, but
I hope you're on my side.
I think I might be. We'll see. I might be the mediator.
Apart. I'm ready for it. Anyway.
But yeah, I think the plot is just insane, and I love how outrageous it is, and I just love how he just starts putting on weight. And like, I guess I do got to trip the logical thing in my brain because I'm like,
Yeah.
Scott, shave your head or shave your face, and then have someone watch you. Like,
Yeah.
watch it grow out. Come on, man, you poor bastard. This guy's getting like, he's turning in 200 pounds, 300 pounds. It's changing. Have you ever seen the movie Clown? Have you ever heard of the movie Clown?
Is it old?
It's a horror film.
It sounds like from the 80s.
No, it's from like the 2000s. It's by Eli Roth. A
okay.
gentleman finds a clown costume and like puts it on for his kid's birthday.
Wait,
and
why-
he can't take it off. And it starts slowly turning him into this clown demon that he...
Dude, I think I watched this. I think with you. Honestly.
I don't think I've seen it. I've seen trailers for it.
Then maybe we watched the trailer because I remember just being down your basement and we
We might have watched a trailer or something.
watching
Wow, this is a core memory that you're about to unlock for him.
Why can't I think of what's the Silence of the Lambs?
That...
And I remember watching that. Thank you.
You're good, you're good.
No, I think... I mean,
And I
Silence
think
of
we
the
were
Lambs,
maybe
there are
calling it-
skin suits
yeah.
in that too.
No, but I think that like it was probably
came
like,
up.
oh yeah, and
Chris,
then when,
we're at Christmas movie and we got to Buffalo Bill.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, so, anyways, end of the movie. He's
crazy tangent.
But this is what I'm
Sorry.
saying. This man has been cursed. He turns into Santa, and he goes through this entire like physical change. And then
Yeah.
what's his name? Bernard is like, you didn't
You
read
gonna
the
shit on Bernard?
a little bit.
I
He's
don't
kind of
like-
a piece of
He's
I
shit.
am
white
not
guy
a
with-
fan of Bernard.
He was a
I'm
white guy with
Bernard
dreads.
hater.
Let's call that
Yeah,
out.
first
Were
of
they?
all.
Were they dreads or were they
They're-
braids? No.
They look like
He
dreads.
looks like isn't it like Raggedy Ann and then Raggedy, the brother of Raggedy Ann? But
Right.
that's what his hair
Raggedy
looks
Andy.
like.
Raggedy.
Yes.
I think so.
I love
If
it.
I had to take a shot in the dark, it's probably
But he's
Raggedy
like,
Andy.
he shows up, and he's like, Scott, you're Santa, you idiot, don't you know? And then he's like, he won't answer his questions. He's like, Santa Claus, this is you now, eat it, bitch. Screaming at him. And then he's like, look at the, and
he's in
like,
charge on the North Pole. He's got
I
to
know,
take
man.
command here.
And I mean, who knows how many times this happens a year, even. Like, or even like,
I don't
they
think
don't
I
care.
don't think that much.
They don't care at all about the other Santa. They're like, oh, you're the new guy. Oops. All right,
Yeah,
we're here.
No grieving.
There's
nothing.
nothing. They're like, what happened to John? I don't know. Like,
That's my question. We need to figure out what happens
Who
to
wa-
him.
who
Like, what
was
is, where
the
does he,
other Santa?
does
The
he
old Santa.
literally perish, or does he just go back to his
Give me
regular
that
Exactly.
Disney Plus spin.
Yeah, yeah.
and then he gets all the super cool tech at the end. Like, did they hate this guy?
94
Like, he gets the fire
Yeah,
retardant suit, like the like beat the cool sleigh and everything with Q. By the way, did you catch that?
Technology. Yes, yeah.
It's Q. His name's Quentin. He's supposed to.
Yeah,
be like,
yeah. I caught on to that. Yeah.
But I don't know. I do think that there's so much to that. I actually had fun just overly analyzing in this, like that stuff
yeah.
where I'm just like, again, the universe, like, what is going on?
It is funny. I do like you went from the beginning. I like the concept. It's like, I think it's really unique, and there's so many Christmas movies that's like the same. I know in the
Right.
end it's like all about like believing, which is funny because Polar Express, they're opposite. They're opposite concepts. Like, this one is believing is seeing, is like you don't have to see it to believe it, you have to believe to see things. And Polar Express is the opposite, is seeing is believing, or hearing
Right.
is believing.
I
But I
agree.
just thought that was interesting.
No, I think that
Yeah.
was interesting too. And even all three of these are like, believe it. Like, every Christmas music I do, or movie is
Yeah.
like, believe in
Believe.
Santa. Believe.
Yeah, you just
You
have
gotta
to believe in
Gooch.
faith and
Yeah,
yeah.
no,
I
yeah.
believe.
But
Don't
in
look at
that,
me.
I think the concept of getting to that like main theme of it is really cool and interesting.
I agree.
and different.
You were talking about the transformations, and I really hope you have a fucking fun.
Oh
fact
yeah, we
about
have
these.
some really
Dude,
fun ones
Oh my
actually.
God.
There are not 2, not 3. There are like 7, and they're
Well,
definitely
because
all
he's like,
practical.
yeah, because remember, like, when he
and
starts getting
looks
fatter,
good.
he does.
Like, it does not look fake. Like, I don't
No,
know if
he
he put
looks
on
like-
weight for this, but like,
I don't think he did. I think it was
looks
all
Like
prosthetic.
Mark
really
Always
good.
Sunny.
Yeah, like
There were a few spots, again, me being like, I'm like, what's going on? There's a little spots
Come on,
around his
Tim.
eye, but
Yeah.
he looks fucking great.
I
Yeah,
wrote
he
that down
does.
too. The practical effects are Really
and like it's just like again
impressive.
like 6 stages between the Tim Allen Scott and Tim Allen Santa.
Yeah, shredded.
Because he gets like a little,
damn,
he gets a
look at
little thick. But then the part where I feel like you really notice it was when he goes into like the meeting. By the way, I really thought that scene was funny.
The dad from That's So Raymond.
Yeah.
That's So Raymond. Everybody loves
Raymond.
Just
That's So
came up
Raymond.
And he's just like, they're like, what's going on? He's like, bee stings. And then he sits down and just starts ordering everything off
And
the
he's
menu.
getting
Yeah. Again, fundamentally changing this man.
In his sweatsuit.
Yeah.
Dude, the iconic. I wrote down Tim Allen's iconic.
Iconic sweatsuit.
Gray sweatsuit.
It really is great. And I mean, there was another little joke I loved when they were at the end of the first night. He's like, "Good night, everyone. I can't wait to get a CAT scan," or something like that. I thought that
all the little
jokes. There were a couple really little good ones.
Something else I have to think about.
So this was your pick. I'm gonna toss it to you. I mean, we're all going back and forth.
Yeah.
Do you? I assume you like this movie very much.
I do. It definitely has a lot of nostalgia wrapped up in it. I mean, a lot of the special effects are
Christmas
rough
does.
when it comes to like
the practical
when he
ones.
goes off the roof.
Oh yeah,
I was like,
the
oof.
special effects are.
This is
rough.
tough, and it is wild to think back then they were like, "This is crazy."
Yeah.
Like, look at that.
What about you, Emma? Do you love the Santa Claus?
So I ended watching the movie being like, I really like this. I am not like a huge Christmas movie person.
You did tell me that, which is
why I was like, I think it'd be really funny for me to be on this type of episode because I am like, I'm not a like, you can't call me like a Grinch or a Scrooge. Like I could go off about my hot takes on Christmas. And stuff. If you want to get into that a little bit, we can. But I, like you said that you felt like at some points it wasn't a Christmas movie. I like that it's not over the top Christmas. That like,
I agree.
There's that you could sit down and watch this like if it was on.
During even the beginning of the year,
like, oh, this is fun. Like you can still watch this. Where there's other Christmas movies, like it's just like shoving Christmas down your throat, which is like
was an example of a movie being like like two Christmases.
Well, like really. The Polar Express.
Okay. I was just getting a gauge because I'm like
or like Elf is like a Christmas movie, but and like even The Year Without Santa Claus is a Christmas movie.
Right?
Movie,
yeah, there are some movies that like take place during Christmas, but aren't Christmas
more
movies.
Christmas adjacent, if you will.
I will jokingly always say Castaway is a Christmas movie.
That's like Die Hard. I mean, that's like Die Hard. Yeah, for sure.
Spider-Man 1 is a Thanksgiving.
It absolutely is.
There's a Thanksgiving scene.
It's just like, but that's what I like about it, and I thought it was really like there was just so many little funny things that like I forgot. I hadn't seen it in such a long time.
So you had seen it before? Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
like,
I assume people did.
Yeah.
I kind of I just making sure.
Yeah, because like
I would hope
I'm
most
not like
people fucking seen this
a
movie
huge Christmas movie person. So like the last time I saw Polar Express was when it came out.
I can't tell you
the last time
I saw it.
I've seen the Santa. I mean, any of these. 15 plus. Well, no,
Santa
sorry,
Claus,
except for Polar Express.
Yeah, and that's with The Year Without Santa Claus. I watch that every year, and that's like one of the only Christmas movies.
Cable is the big place where I usually would see these movies over and over again. And
Yeah.
I don't have
ABC,
cable anymore, so I don't have like
Days of Christmas.
Yeah, I mean,
all of these.
fucking Home Alone playing on repeat every day and stuff.
AMC loves to play movies on repeat. Like Christmas
all the
Day,
Star
it's
Wars,
a Christmas story
all
day.
day.
Star Wars is usually
24
playing
hours
all day. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and you like Harry Potter. They have
all
Harry
that
Potter.
shit.
Yeah.
So,
That's a Christmas adjacent movie.
Yeah.
Like, why is Harry Potter a Christmas movie? Just because
don't they usually have a weekend?
I feel like there usually is.
Not in the later ones.
True.
In the beginning ones, there's a Christmas scene, but they stopped that. But it's for some reason like I don't.
If you want to
magical.
I guess.
Right?
And then,
well,
like,
I think
that's
it
gotta
is.
be
I
it.
think those Christmas scenes in Harry Potter do they are pretty prominent. So I guess that's why people, even more so than obviously the joke that it's Spider-Man being a Thanksgiving movie that has a dinner scene in it.
Yeah.
But
with Norman Osborn licking his fingers like a psychopath.
But yeah, I don't know. I totally get what you mean, Emma. It can get a little schmaltzy with these Christmas movies to a degree. And
I mean, especially if you're watching them like back to back, like you got to get sick of them.
You want a good Christmas movie that's not very schmaltzy, and you like horror? Krampus.
I thought they were gonna say Silent Night.
It's very funny too. It's like a darkly comedic movie.
Yeah.
Gooch, what about you? What are your do you have any baselines besides that? What you've already said with the Santa Claus? I guess like you're like you said you've seen it a couple times. You didn't have any,
I mean, it's been so long, and I've always liked the Santa Claus, but it's funny like watching it, I'm like I don't really remember this. Like Year Without a Santa Claus, I haven't seen in a while, but it's
You're
but
like
it's
rapping.
50 minutes long. It's like hard to forget.
Sure.
Actually.
Yeah.
And the Polar Express I've seen like a few times throughout the year, so I love that fucking movie, so I like it a lot.
I love that movie.
I love how I'm getting shit for my
I'm
pick.
glad she's with me. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So would you because you chose this? Is this your favorite Christmas movie?
I wouldn't
or
say it's my
just,
favorite. I think it's one that I kind of I always really enjoyed growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually saw a YouTube video on it a while ago where I was like, this is fucking
video
wild.
essay
And
on
it wasn't even a video. It was like Mr. Sunday Movies. He does the Caravan of Garbage. And I was like, I need to watch this movie again. I forgot how much fun it is. I feel like I've seen the second one the most. It's because that was always replaying.
I don't like this.
The second one. Yeah, he's trying to find a
I remember the teaching bit, and
he needs to find a wife.
and
Remember?
doesn't he forget the son isn't believing?
Yeah,
and,
well, it starts off with him spray painting the school. He's
Yeah.
propelling down. I
Dude,
watched the first couple
so
scenes
much has
yesterday.
changed. So much.
The one I don't.
Is it the same kid though? Do we know that?
It
Same actor?
actually might be because it's 10 years later.
So it could.
So I think it is.
Wow.
So
we
he's
find
18.
that out right now?
Yeah, I'll look it up right now.
But when was it
need to know.
made?
It was made in
It was-
2004, I
It
believe.
was like
Oh.
10, it was literally
It was a
10
while
years later.
after.
Disney was like, listen, in 10 years we're
Well,
gonna
that's
do
why
this.
you probably thought that it wasn't.
I think that's exactly
1994
what it
and you thought
was.
early
Yeah. Oh, okay,
2000s.
so it was 2002.
Okay, but still, that's 8 years.
And yeah, I think it was Eric Lloyd. I believe that's who played him in the first one too.
Interesting.
Good. That's what I want to hear.
And then I love
Yeah.
how in these also, what's his name, keeps getting progressively older and taller, but he's still an elf for some reason. Bernard. Yeah.
I did want to point out, I don't know if you guys paid attention. It's interesting to see how movies and shows and everything portrays Santa, elves, and the North Pole.
Mm-hmm.
All three of these are very different
I agree.
depictions of all
Yeah.
three of those
Yeah.
things.
I agree, and I didn't. That's the one thing that I dislike about the Santa Claus is the way they portray the North Pole. I just think it looks fake. Like it looks,
did. It's so
almost-
It
funny.
looks like a mall.
I remembered us
Right?
being there
Yeah,
a
it's-
lot more in this movie, and we aren't.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like they really kind of stretched the budget on
Yeah,
that one.
it's like an
Yeah.
underground ice cave kind of thing,
It
right?
literally looks like a facade.
We'll get to that when we
just
get to the Polar
not
Express,
even
too.
like North Pole itself, but like the way that they designed it is.
No,
how
I get exactly what you mean.
I agree with
It
you
looks very
also.
plasticky.
Yeah.
And
like mall.
Yeah,
Like it looks like a
I
mall.
think in the second one, if I remember correctly, they spend a lot more time there. So they're like, all right, we should make this look kind of good.
Yeah.
I
And
thought the sets didn't look bad.
I
but
think they were awful, but I think
hear
they were
like,
definitely at the time.
fake critique.
It's just like
right.
yeah.
And the elves to me seem like they're like adults in kids' bodies.
Yeah.
Like
It's just-
especially when
it's
he
like-
hits on the one.
Yeah.
I was
saw-
like, this is a Disney movie. Like, this is
But
nuts.
again, that wasn't him.
Like,
That was just it was a moment that I caught. I
I'm
was like,
dating
Jesus
some dude and rapping. I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah.
dude.
you
But
are.
that is a funny response. But also, it's a young little child. There are
It's
so
weird,
many
yeah.
children actors in this movie.
Yeah.
So
would
we have
not
some fun
happen
facts about
today.
that too.
Oh, great.
Anything else on the Santa Claus, guys?
Let me look at my notes.
Yeah, see if- let's
I
pull up
just
because no, I
scribbled
love it.
stuff down and
I
then
di-
literally doodled if anyone wants.
The one I definitely
I drew
wanted
Santa.
to mention was the transformation because I thought that was like impressive.
Absolutely,
I was
and
like,
we'll
I
talk-
was like, wow.
Oh, do we know where it takes place? I was like, is it New York? Is it Chicago? Is it? They say something about Lakeside at the very end. It's obviously somewhere cold.
Good,
He says he's
good.
flying somewhere over at the very end when he shakes the snow globe. He goes. He comes back. He was like, I was just going over Cleveland. So I was like, maybe it's in like Cincinnati or somewhere in Ohio.
So it was filmed in Ontario, which is like a normal. They film a lot of stuff up
Yeah.
in Vancouver and like Ontario and
Yeah,
stuff.
okay.
So I would
Yeah, but-
assume that it's
Yeah,
no,
like
that's-
supposed
that's
to.
a good-
I
that's
would
a good-
assume a
Police uniform-
Chicago.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
some
Police
kind, like a.
uniforms just say PD on it. They don't say
They
any.
probably did that on purpose.
anything.
Good
I don't know why. I
eye.
was
I didn't
like,
even
where the
think
hell
about
is this
that, but that
taking
is always
place?
interesting to be like, oh, like
Yeah.
where
Where
is
this
this?
Yeah, I
movie
was like, I
taking
knew
place?
it was somewhere like
Yeah, they always give like
possibly,
fake
like,
names.
North
PD.
Yeah.
That's it. That's so funny.
Yeah, it was really strange. But I was like, obviously they have 4 seasons because they show them like the snow and then in the wintertime, and then he's playing soccer and it's warmer out, and
Right.
like there's all different. I mean, not necessarily like 4 full seasons, but
No,
Yeah.
I hear you. It's not a California, obviously.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you need somewhere
exactly.
with somewhere with snow.
Yeah.
So you can do that in the Christmas movie.
I do find the elf special forces detachment pretty interesting.
That was fun.
yeah, that was.
Yeah, I feel like that's like a trope. I feel like in these kind of movies, like I don't know the Polar Express, those coasters, man, these
It's
coasters.
okay.
No, it's
It's
just it's a condensation. It happens all the time.
It's also that I have the rubber bottom.
Yeah. I think you mentioned that last time we were on about the like knocking it into things.
Yeah, because I bang it around. Like, there's dents everywhere.
Like Polar Express kind of has like a similar thing where they like, I mean, the elves are like flipping around and like doing all this bunch of shit.
Dude,
And
I love
I'll
their
talk about the elves
fucking-
in that later. But
So
the elves in this are like pretty normal. Like besides them being adults in kids' bodies, like,
No, they just look
they're
like
normal.
children. Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
normal.
But it's funny, they don't
They
look
don't
like...
have Jewish Brooklyn accents like they do in Polar Express, which I found very like Meshuggah.
Yeah, I did find that actually funny.
I was like, what?
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, they're not like, they don't look like they age either, like a traditional human. Like, because in Elf,
That's a
for
very-
instance, they're just shrunken down like old people. So like they do look
Yeah.
like they're
Yeah.
short, but they're old.
yeah.
That's
they
a
This,
very
they're just
like
children.
fantasy elf quality though. You know.
Of course, yeah, they don't age whatsoever. They always
Yeah.
look like children. That would get annoying though. I guess you're all around all elves. It's
Yeah,
just the way
I
it
don't
works.
know. I liked that they wrapped the guy in the police station up with the,
That was
with
fun.
the thing that- and all the ribbons coming out of him.
Not sped up footage at all. Yeah. Just
What?
they're like, hey, what's going on? Yeah.
Oh,
God.
and the SWAT
Some
team
hijinks.
storming the house.
Dude, it's,
Like I'm like, this is crazy.
it's yeah.
It is
it's-
pretty wild. They get a little serious at some points, and it is
Yeah.
hilarious. But I think that's what makes it so. I don't know. I hate saying they don't make movies like this anymore. Like
No,
I
they
like
really
with
don't.
especially on like a more children centric audience. Like I don't know. I guess I haven't watched many animated
I'm
movies
curious-
as of late. But like, there's definitely some innuendos and such and things in this
Yeah.
that you would never see today.
Yeah.
For sure. I
Yeah.
wrote that down too, and I was like, is it just because of like it's a classic like from the 70s, I guess, to the early 2000s?
Maybe,
where
yeah.
You were
then
able to like just like even you think of like SpongeBob. SpongeBob always had like those
all those innuendos,
and
yeah.
things and just little jokes. But the only other thing I think I wrote down, I don't know why I was taking notes. I guess
That's
No,
don't
no,
I was like, I'm
apologize.
gonna forget
I usually
everything
take
once I
notes for
get in-
these, but
when
I just didn't have the time.
Yeah, get
Yeah.
in front of a microphone. I'm like, my brain just turns off. So, like,
No,
I-
no,
do it.
I
Visual
appreciate the
clues.
dedication.
What did I? Oh, I just thought there was good banter, like even just between Charlie and
Scott.
Scott. Yeah.
No, I think they
Like,
have like
they-
amazing chemistry.
Yeah.
For sure. And this wouldn't work nearly as well without
Yeah.
them.
I just was floored by him as a child actor. I was just he like I said earlier, he literally carried the whole movie.
Yeah, it's funny. He's
Which
not
is
in a lot
amazing.
not like recently, I should say.
Tim Allen?
No, the kid,
Oh, is the kid like a
Eric Lloyd. He was in. I mean, he was
Is he,
just
like,
in all
in
this
stuff
stuff.
still?
Let's see what his.
He's not like
latest
the
stuff
kid who
is.
played Anakin who like
Okay, so he's in the Santa Clauses too with everyone
Jesus
again.
Christ. I
He-
mean, so is Tim Allen, right?
Yeah, he plays him again.
Dedicated. I mean, he's
but they
getting-
didn't get
he's-
him back for Buzz Lightyear.
He's getting a fucking bag. Wait, what?
Yeah, he didn't play Buzz in the
What?
movie. You didn't know that?
Wait, in 4?
Oh no, in like the Buzz Lightyear movie that they did.
Oh, I didn't know
Which was
that.
just sad kids Interstellar.
see it.
Don't see
Oh.
it. It's very
Wait,
weird.
you mean
That's
Lightyear?
upsetting.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. Lightyear.
Well, I think there is
No,
like,
there's- it's
there
a
is
fair difference,
There
yeah.
is a Buzz Lightyear animated
No,
show
you're
with
right.
Patrick Warburton
Yeah.
as Buzz Lightyear.
Well, that
Don't
is
forget
funny.
that. Come on,
That's
don't get it
funny.
twisted, man.
Yeah, but don't watch Lightyear. It's like a weird sad movie that's like supposed to be for children.
the hot chocolate when she brings in the hot chocolate and she perfects the thing and she's not too hot, extra chocolate, shaken, not stirred.
That's the shit.
And
What was her
I
name again?
I don't
forget.
remember. She's,
Oh, the
she's in
little
the
elf
others,
assistant?
right?
I think
like
so.
I recognize.
I think
her.
a lot of these, them do come back in all of these. Awesome. Anything else, guys? Do you want to move on to
No, I
some
think
fun
that's-
facts?
Yeah, I would love to hear some
Anything
fun
from you,
facts.
Gooch?
I love-
No, I think that's it.
Alrighty. There are many elves hidden throughout this film. For instance, one of the children in Charlie's class during Parents' Day is an elf. You can see him not laughing when he tells everyone he has pointy ears, and you can see him not laughing when he says his
is
dad's
that
Santa
a
Claus.
reference to when the elves, when they're behind the police lines, start disappearing?
Yeah, so I think
Yeah,
that's
you see
it.
them just like
Yeah, kind
Yeah.
of. Yes.
Like, oh, they're fucking
they
gone.
scatter. Yeah, they scatter.
Some mom's like, where'd that kid go?
Yeah, where's these
oh,
kids here?
so
with?
like are they like looking at like looking
Exactly.
out?
I think
out.
that's
Yeah.
supposed to be the whole point. They're looking after them. This was the first lead film role for Mr. Timothy Allen himself.
So he did.
Did you catch that, by the way? The ho ho ho.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No.
You missed it? He gave it a little har har har. But
Yeah.
it was his ho ho ho. It was at the beginning.
When he it's like
Yeah.
he laughs and
This was
Yeah,
like
it goes from like a regular laugh
What
and like
what is
subtly,
fucking the Tool Time show called again? I always just call it Tool Time. What,
I think it is.
no, the
No.
show he's on in the
Oh.
show is called Tool Time.
Tim
Why can't I
Taylor.
think of it? Oh,
is it
Home Improvement?
Home
Home
Sorry.
Improvement, yeah.
So he was just
So
a TV actor.
this was Tim Allen mania at this point. He had
Yeah.
a number one
He was
TV
the
show
guy.
in America with Home Improvement. This was the number one box office, number one at the box office for at least a week. And he also had a number one best-selling New York Times best-selling book that came out the same.
And then he did Toy Story.
Mr.
5
he
years
did Toy
later.
Story, yeah. So, and I mean, dude, this is back when, like, if you had a well-rating TV show, like 50 million people were
Yeah.
watching it, 60 million people were watching, like,
Yeah.
maybe even close to 100.
I
Yeah, like,
know.
it's wild. Like, now you're lucky if you get maybe 100,000, I think,
Yeah,
on
even
something
like the
like
top
a
show
exactly.
probably doesn't even crack like what the lowest.
Yeah, like
viewed shows are,
we
yeah.
can't even compare it to today. It's
Yeah.
it's truly wild.
insane.
So the role of Scott Calvin was thought about for many different actors or considered by many different actors. Bill Murray turned it down. Other actors considered included Jeff Bridges, Robin Williams, Tom Hanks, Michael Keaton, Mike Myers, and I
feel
think
like
my
most of them
favorite
are all
one, and we
same
were
level.
definitely robbed, and I would pay an arm and a leg to see this film. Harrison Ford.
Oh, I would.
Harrison
I would
Ford,
kill
the
myself.
Santa Claus. I would pay an arm and a leg
But
to see
Harrison
that.
Ford 90s might not be. I don't like Harrison Ford, for the record.
For the record.
Jot that down.
By the way, that's not everyone. There's so
Absolutely
many more. I
Especially
felt like
right
there's
now. I don't like Harrison Ford in his old age, but maybe in the 90s I would have liked him.
Oh gosh, I would. I
guess
just.
we'll
I wish
never
I could
know.
travel
I guess
to the
we'll
alternate
never know.
universe and see that.
Yeah.
It would be.
No, that's it. Like the Tom Hanks makes sense. Like that's the same. The Mike Myers is interesting.
Yeah, there was, and Robin Williams I think would have
Yeah,
worked,
Robin
but
Williams is like also the same. It would have been like.
it seemed like they were kind of shopping it around to any funny man.
What
really,
year
like
was Mrs. Doubtfire?
it was. I think right before this or after it.
But
Mrs.
has Robin Williams ever been in a role where he's like irredeeming like that, like kind of a piece of shit? I'm trying to think.
I
like
wouldn't be surprised.
like Dead Poet
93.
Society is like a serious film, but he's
93.
not.
Okay,
He's
so
not like a
that makes
bad
sense.
guy in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, no, I don't. I mean,
doesn't
probably. I think he's probably played like a bad guy in something.
Well, I mean, like that's true. Like
Yeah, like I just
I was
don't
gonna
know.
say, Mrs. Doubtfire is basically the same storyline. Back to your
Divorced dad.
Divorce that. I'm telling you, there's like it's like that liar.
Oh, yeah.
I can't. There's so many that the
I mean,
divorced
even
dad during the
is,
90s.
in Jingle All the Way, Arnold Schwarzenegger is.
I think he's married. I
Okay,
think
no,
he's
he's married?
still a piece of shit dad though. That never sees, he never
has
sees
a
his
lot.
child, but he's married
No,
still.
he is a piece of
He's
shit
not
dad.
working so hard that he lost his wife yet. He's just
Yeah.
working hard enough to where he
He's
doesn't
on
see
the
his
brink
child.
of it.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
If you
there
don't
was
get this
if there was
Turbo
a
Man,
sequel,
Turbo
yeah.
Man.
it would
Don't-
be-
with Sinbad.
the Turbo Man.
Great film.
That's so funny.
On older releases of this film, Tim Allen makes a sarcastic remark in the movie, which is included a line. Was it in? I missed
the
this
one
one.
about the 60s?
So one no. So
Wait, yeah,
that was a
he's-
great-
oh
that
no,
was a
this
good
is
line,
it. So it was like at the beginning when they're
Lived through
dropping
the
off the
60s.
kid, and he says, "Oh, you got to call 1-800-SPANK-ME." 1-800-SPANK-ME.
Yeah.
During the film's release, a woman near Cleveland, Ohio, called the supposedly fictional number out of her curiosity, curiosity of her children,
yeah, did
and
she?
it turned out to be a real phone sex line.
Good.
And Disney received a bunch of complaints,
They were
and
like,
the part was then
I love to
cut
hear
out
that.
of all future releases of the movie. I was seeing conflicting things about this.
What adult decided to call that?
First off, yeah, and then
yeah,
also
like,
like
yeah,
how did
how
it
did you
spread?
not-
This is before the internet too. It's just funny to think about because he probably just said that on the day and was just like,
Yeah, it was probably.
whatever.
It was probably.
so they changed it to 1-800-POUND in the new ones, and yeah, apparently that cut is available except on Disney Plus, like on like Vudu and things like that when you watch
on
it.
Disney Plus.
So yeah, so
God
did
damn
I.
it. They're controlling my. They're censoring me.
Where's my First Amendment
But
rights?
the line where he's like, what he's going up high and he's something. He's like, what's his kid's name?
Charlie.
Don't worry, Charlie. Like I'm from the 60s.
Yeah, he's like, I lived through the 60s.
I was like, that was
I
pretty.
was
By the way, he had
cracking up.
already been arrested on that cocaine charge at this point. So
Tim Allen.
yeah, Disney broke their long-standing no cons rule to
No
work
cons.
with him. Yeah.
Dude, he would have been canceled in a
They
minute.
needed.
Well, dude, I mean, think about it. And then that wasn't Disney, but I was going to say Marvel with RDJ, but that was before they were involved.
Yeah, true. yeah.
Yeah. All right. And for the prosthetic, Scooch, here we go.
Thank
Tim
you.
Allen underwent 4 to 5 hours of makeup and prosthetic
Yeah, he did.
application to transform into Santa almost every day, not including the 2 hours it took to take it off, and had to wear multiple fat suits during filming, which took place in the middle of summer. Because of the latex, Allen experienced heat rashes, scars, scratches, and infections. There was a time limit on how long he could be in the suit while filming, maxing out at 6 hours because of the poor ventilation. This led him to curse in anger many times around the elves, aka the children. So he was just, I imagine him just in full Santa garb being like, this fucking bullshit. I can't, I'm sick of this bullshit.
So funny
Oh my gosh, I couldn't imagine. I mean, now they have like,
claustrophobic and
well, I remember like Jim Carrey talked about that with the Grinch outfit especially, but like now they have like cold suits that they put under that they like feed cold water into to like keep you cool during in between takes.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I
That's
heard something
not how
about
it is
like
now.
Spider-Man with the Tom Holland. Like,
Exactly, that's what they have to do.
Well,
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like even like on the CWDC shows, there's usually like often like Grant Gustin talked about like the first Flash suit, like
That was glued to his face. Yeah.
He was like dying in that thing.
Yeah,
It doesn't seem like these suits and all
They
the
got more
practical stuff like works out really well.
Especially when
like
you have something like that where you need it to like glue to his chin and stay secure.
Yeah.
And, like, it doesn't work.
But I'd much rather practical. I'm like pro practical versus like CGI and stuff
I
like
agree.
that. I am
Yeah.
not.
I'm a pro balance.
Yeah,
like
that's-
use
there's
it when
certain
needed.
things,
Yeah, like
yeah.
that's
But I don't know. I guess even in the filming process, it has to be so difficult to film like just in front of a green screen. But have you guys ever watched I Think You Should Leave?
yeah.
No.
With
Oh,
Tim.
yeah, you were telling me about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to. It's been on my list. I've seen clips
You
from
have
it
to
a
watch
thousand
it. You're
times.
either
Yeah.
gonna love it or you're gonna absolutely hate
The
it.
clips I've
It's
seen, I've enjoyed.
One of my favorite things in the whole entire world. But there is a sketch in it where he's in this big suit and he's like freaking out in it because he's like he can't breathe. He's like, I can't breathe, and he's like in the middle of the mall, like just having an absolute meltdown.
Panic attack, yeah.
Because like that's how I would be every week. I would not be able to do it. I'd be throwing an absolute fit.
There's some like horror stories about prosthetics. I can't remember who it was.
Like 89 Batman with the neck. I mean, it's not a
Well,
horror
that
story,
no,
but-
so there was one. I think it was
Okay,
Jeff.
really
Quick
not.
aside, Jeff Bridges. He was getting some face mask like or like model made of his face, and like I guess some dude got fired during the process of it, and he like messed with the mixture, and it like attached to all the hairs on his face. It wasn't coming loose.
Man.
So they literally had to like it was stuck on his face. He could breathe, but they had to get like an X-Acto blade, and by every little cut, they just had to cut the hair on. I think it was like attached to his eyebrows or something, and they couldn't just pour. He was like stuck in it for a while, but.
That's
Yeah, those they don't have to do it anymore. They can
heinous.
just do like a scan. But yeah, they used to just have to fucking ceramic your entire head
Yeah.
with two
like
nose
the
holes.
probably make a silicone mold.
Exactly.
And then like
Exactly.
ooh.
Yeah, you need to make the negative and then you put
Yeah.
exactly. It's
No,
wild
that's-
stuff.
No, thank you.
Especially
You're
back
gonna
then,
pay
like
me any amount of money to do
no,
that.
thank you. I agree. And like now it's gotten so advanced to where like there's different materials and it's a lot more flexible. I could not imagine the shit that he was going through.
Imagine being the first person to do that and be like, it'll be fine. We'll figure it
for
out.
sure.
And then, like,
and I mean, they did like monster makeups and stuff before, but like he was definitely like probably the first more mainstream actors to really do something like this. But I don't know. There's probably way more examples I can't think of. There was one part where he shows his like stomach, and I was like, that looks really fake.
yeah.
Just because it
When
looked
you see
like,
his belly button
yeah, and it
stuff.
looks
wasn't
just
upset about
super
that
like
one.
stiff. But I was willing to let it go.
Yeah.
So last little fun fact. This was actually told by Tim Allen himself on the Jimmy Fallon show. The original
back then.
no, recently, because I think it was
okay.
for the Santa Clauses. The original script had Scott actually shoot Santa. Like, kill him. Like that, not just have him fall off
I mean,
the roof.
I think it is kind of comical that he just like falls off the fucking roof.
No,
Like,
it is.
all
He just
does
gets
is,
scared.
What are you doing? Yeah. He's like, like you're on roofs. The what?
all the
Like,
time. Yeah, how is this the first you get scared?
I was gonna
Don't
say
you have tracks on the
again.
tracks
Who
when-
says he didn't just get the shoot down the road and then he just killed a man? Like,
he was saying it for 0.5
yeah, he's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm on people's roofs. This is
He did it on
scary.
purpose. He
Yeah,
didn't
he's
wanna
like,
be
I'm done.
Santa.
I don't
He's
want
like-
this anymore.
and slid
Maybe
down.
it's his second Christmas. He didn't get all the good stuff that Calvin is apparently getting. Scott
Yeah.
Calvin also Santa Claus.
Yeah, all that state of the art
Ooh.
technology.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that does it for us.
I just realized we never did talk about Santa dying.
Yeah, I guess we didn't. Yeah, I mean, he gets scared and he falls off the roof. And that's it. And no, I will say it does like the whole lead into them getting into the actual sleigh. I'm like, I would never do this. Like, what do you mean? First, you're climbing
kid
up to the
is
roof.
climbing
Yeah,
up, like,
yeah.
oh.
And then he's like, all right, fine, I'll put on the jacket and we'll get in the sleigh.
I do love the tie-in of the hearing or pronunciation of the why can't I think of the line anymore of the kid says it and it has a ladder in it and then the ladder.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
yeah,
that was
yeah.
a cute little tie-in.
That is a good
But
little tie-in, yeah.
also when Santa's getting arrested, when Tim Allen is getting arrested, like towards the end, why on Christmas Eve, why are all the children outside with their, like, what parents are like, yes,
Well,
let's
'cause
go
I think
watch
they were
Santa.
Let's go watch
obviously-
the SWAT.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's true. Like, why did they all show up out of
I
nowhere?
literally wrote, like, all caps. I'm like, okay, obviously I'm not supposed to be judging that, like, actually,
No,
like,
I- but
the
still.
logistics, but, like,
Judge it.
why are these children, like...
It's again classic movie logic. It doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense. We all gathered because we heard Santa's getting arrested.
Yeah.
There's nothing else
like,
going
obviously
on.
you as adults don't think it's Santa, but these
Yeah.
children are like, no, it's
Let's
Santa.
see, yeah, traumatizing.
We're never gonna get
They're fucking arresting Santa. Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
Again,
It reminds me of I wish I could talk to this movie more because I know it's about a Santa trial, Miracle on 34th Street. It's
Oh,
a
yeah.
black and white movie.
Yeah, yeah.
And I like don't know the premise, but I know it's about a Santa Claus like being in a court.
there's
case.
also
And it's-
Grandma
it's-
got run over by a reindeer.
I don't want to fucking talk about that movie.
Walking home
movie,
from my house Christmas
I
Eve.
fucking hate. I
Wait.
fucking hate that.
Really? What?
It's terrible. The song's bad. The movie's bad.
I enjoyed the song.
I don't think I've ever seen that movie.
Good. We'll keep it. There.
I would, you know.
Don't.
Yeah,
Good,
maybe
don't.
not. I don't know. It's probably fun.
Wait,
No. What?
what? Who's in, like...
It's
It's an animated movie. Is that's not Adam Sandler, is it? That,
no,
he does.
Eight Crazy Nights
That's
is
what
a
I'm
great
thinking of. Right?
movie.
Yeah, duh.
That's a Hanukkah movie, right?
Yeah.
Correct,
Like I'm
yeah.
like it has nothing
That's
to do
an
with Christmas.
amazing
Yeah.
movie.
But I know it's like
Oh,
a
should watch
spoof of
that.
Christmas movies.
Yeah.
I've never seen Eight Crazy
You
Nights.
should.
I've
Watch it
seen it.
tonight.
Yeah, it's good.
It's a
very
really good
good.
movie. It's a musical, like they
Yeah.
sing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he likes his music.
And I did want to point out, it's funny. All our picks are very different. Like we have two like animated movies, but one is claymation, one is total CGI, and then we have live action. Like we're getting like all the mediums,
We
like a
just-
lot
No, we
of
are.
different like
And
variations.
they're all different at like 74,
Eras. I mean, I think this is the
94.
oldest movie or like thing that
I
I was
we're
gonna
talk
say
about.
that is
Yeah.
definitely it's the shortest and the oldest.
Yeah,
for
definitely.
sure. But
All right, Gooch.
that does it for us. But before I do my intro, Emma, would you like to pimp out anything that is good?
Sorry.
Anything
I
that's
didn't
going on
interrupt.
with you, or before the end of the year? Because that's when all these will be coming out.
Yeah, when are the...
So this will be out on the 14th. This will be out this week. So we're recording
Oh,
on the
okay.
12th.
So on the 16th, I'll be at Tired Hands Winter Beer Park. It's like Flight on Ice, I
Yeah.
think, actually runs it, and then the beer park's also there.
Right.
There's a market that's going on 12 to 5. I'll be there
Ooh.
selling some fun stuff. I usually make things that are like all repurposed materials that I use for the custom projects. And so you never know what I'm really going to have there. It just depends on what I start making when I pick up the piece of wood. And it's like a lot of pallets and stuff. So it's all repurposed material, which I enjoy. So
Yeah.
Fantastic.
stop by and drink Tired Hands beer because they're really good.
Yeah. And
And skate.
Emma's stuff is always in description of every podcast because she made the table. So
kindest
Absolutely.
thing
promote her.
ever.
And probably
Thank
too late
you.
to order anything for Christmas. So don't.
Well,
There's always
you can
next
do
year.
belated Christmas.
There's always next
Yeah, I was like, hey, like, don't
Yeah.
don't go to them and be like, hey, I need something like 10
I'll be
days.
cursing you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have
No, but
$1,000.
thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
man.
Yeah. We're like, in that case.
Yeah, actually.
But again,
I can work with it.
Her info's in the description if you want to check her out. And the rink. What?
Tired Hands Winter Beer Park.
Yeah.
It's Flight on Ice. It's Newtown Square.
It is Newtown Square.
In
yeah.
my brain, it's Edgemont, but apparently the
Yeah.
post
So
was
it's
Newtown.
right near.
Yeah, get it right.
The Regal Edgemont, my old.
That's where I grew up.
On my
okay?
old
Yeah.
stomping,
Yeah.
our old stomping grounds.
Correct.
Regal Edgemont, which is the.
Yeah.
Isn't it the Marvel Shopping Center that it's next to? That's what it's called, right?
Oh,
Wait, what?
Technically-
I think.
I don't.
Now
It's
that
not
you-
called like the Edgemont Shopping Center.
No, it's not.
I thought it was just the Newtown Shopping Center.
No.
It's not
No,
the
because
one.
it's It's
It's Edgemont
apparently.
You're talking about the one in front
near
of
the
Casey's.
Bonefish Grill in
No,
Newtown
pa-
Square.
yeah, past.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's like
Where the hell-
Starbucks.
where are you?
I thought you were up near.
I'm talking
like
about
Casey's.
Regal Edgemont.
I was confused.
That's where this is.
Well, guys, you know what? Please continue
That's
without me.
okay.
Anyway.
Just keep going up Westchester Pike just a little bit.
There you
towards
go. We'll get there.
Westchester,
All right, yeah.
You'll see it.
Fantastic.
Cool. So usually we stream at twitch.tv/Delco Network. You can usually catch us recording most of our podcasts there. But if you don't, podcast services and youtube.com/Delco Nerd Network. You can follow us on social media at Delco Nerds, Instagram, Threads, TikTok. What else has an at? No, yeah, I said everything with an at. And then facebook.com/Delco Nerd Network. Oh, Twitter. I forgot. Or X, if you want to call it that. Everything. You can find all this information at our website, DelcoNerdNetwork.com. For Emma, that's Trio at the end. I'm Gooch. Thanks for watching. Stay nerdy. And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas indeed.